Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in thanks on this beautiful evening you have provided us. We thank you for every seat that has been filled here tonight, Lord. Lord, I ask for grace and peace to be on every person in this room. And Lord, I ask you would help to enable us to conduct ourselves with Christ-like character in our daily lives and workplace. Let your light shine through us in all we do in the Permian Basin. Lord, we ask that you bless the speaker, Mr. Switzer, for coming out to speak tonight. We ask for grace and peace to be upon him. Lord, we ask for safe travels for him and for everyone here tonight. We ask that each man and woman in the audience would gain wisdom and knowledge from the speech that they can use in the workplace. Lord, thank you for this beautiful meal you have provided. Bless this food to the nourishment of our body and our body to your service. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. If you don't know me, I'm Derek Whiting, currently the president. And we're excited to have everybody and get the Landman Spring Parade kicked off. So I want to start by thanking AAPL President Jim Devlin for being here. And that big clap. And also Executive Vice President Greta Zinetz. You got that one, right? All right. We want to give Austin Kinsler, our first Vice President, a shout out. He put all this together, got your speaker, and I think he did a great job, right? I want to give a current shout out to the current board. Tip Kerwin, our immediate past president. I don't know if he's here. Tip? No? All right, Clay Whitehead, our AAPL representative. There we go. Done a great job. Katie McBride, newsletter. Katie, stand up, stand up. Stand up, Katie. So, I got to give Katie a special shout out and EOG during our lapse between employment for our executive administrator. She helped get a lot of stuff done and got a lot of volunteers for us, so we really appreciate that. Jason South, he is not here because I think he's on a family vacation. He's our director at large. Danielle Jeter, education seminar. There we go. Danielle has vamped up the education seminar, gotten a lot, I want to say better speakers, but maybe more entertaining speakers. We now have a happy hour during the education seminar, thanks to her. So I think we all enjoy that. Chris Harrell, shrimp boil and Christmas party. Chris. Dustin Rucker, fundraising, charities, and scholarships. Dustin. Stay standing, Dustin. I've got this guy out of all the people that's ever had his position, he has raised 4 times more than anybody else. $450,000 for the PBLA. So, big special shout out to Dustin. We obviously appreciate all of our sponsors. We couldn't do that without you, but Dustin getting out there and asking, awesome job. Josh Anderson, clay shoot. There he is. He's got big things coming, a lot of great guns. Now that we have $450,000 to spend. Garrett Brewer ran our last clay shoot. Eric Eves, golf tournament. Okay. And Justin Bone, golf tournament. So if the golf tournament's a disappointment Thursday, then you know who to be mad at. I just told you who it is right there. Chase Ragsdale, secretary. Zach Smith, treasurer. Where's Zach at? Stay standing, Zach. Zach has done a lot of work as treasurer. He's updated us on a lot of things. Got our books corrected. He's done a ton of work, so we give him an extra big shout out. Second Vice President, Corey Willett. I know Corey's here because we were on the same plane that got here late at 4 o'clock. So. And then finally Austin, I've already introduced him. But again, thank y'all everyone for being here. It means a lot. Everyone here is sponsored or you wouldn't be here. And we need that in order to throw great events. We're about to do a lot of great things. I'm jealous about this next board coming up. We're getting a new logo. We've got new money. And so I think get ready to see a lot of good stuff. So thank y'all very much. And now I'm going to introduce Austin.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. I want to start off by thanking Derek. He's had outstanding leadership over the past year. He got PBLA going in the right direction, and we couldn't have done it without him. It gives me comfort knowing he will still be around in a past president capacity going forward. And with that said, on behalf of the board, we want to give Derek a leadership award, something to keep on his desk and, feel powerful. All righty. Okay, next I want to recognize the individuals that will be on the 2022-2023 board. I couldn't be more excited about how this board worked out. Starting at the top, we have an election going on between Chris Harrell and Zach Smith for first vice president. Please do not forget to vote. Voting ends on May 1st. Our second vice president will be Katie McBride. Treasurer, Randus Butts. Secretary, Danielle Jeter. Golf tournament, Eric Eats. Golf tournament, Gareth Brewer. Clay shoot, Josh Anderson. Clay shoot, Justin Bone. Charity scholarships and fundraising. You probably know who he is by now, Dustin Rucker. Christmas party and shrimp boil, Wade Parks. Education seminar, Bob Heller. Director at Large, Shannon Manor. Newsletter, Doug Buchanan. AAPL Director, Clay Whitehead. Immediate past president, Derek Whiting. And then I also want to announce our new administrative assistant. We're very excited to have her. Her name is Ariel Herrera. Please stand up, Ariel. She's here. There she is. Back left. If you have not met her already, please make a point to do so. You'll be hearing from her a lot in the near future. So excited to have you. All right. We want to give one more award tonight. We've been doing this every year. This is the Lifetime Achievement Award. Give it to somebody who not only has had success, but gives back to society, and also is a continued supporter of PBLA. This individual graduated from Texas Tech in 1983 and has over 34 years of industry experience. He is the president and founder of one of the largest private companies in the Permian Basin, including 28 years in the midstream business. Since founding his Midland-based company in 1984, he has been actively developing E&P and midstream assets in the Permian Basin, Gulf Coast, Barnett Shale, Fayetteville Shale regions. The PBLA is very appreciative of its continued support over the years. Please help me to congratulate the winner, Mr. David Arrington. You want to say something?
Yeah. Thank you. Wow, thank you. So, a lot of people ask what kind of, excuse me, I still have steak in my mouth. I wasn't expecting this. A lot of people ask me about, the oil business and, what my journey was. And I got to use this from Clayton Williams. He said he did it the Christopher Columbus way. When he started out, he didn't know where he was going. When he got there, he didn't know where he was. And he did it all on borrowed money. Thank you.
All right. Now for the grand finale, we've all been waiting for. Coach Switzer joined us from Norman, Oklahoma today. We couldn't be more appreciative to have him come down. Barry Switzer is among the winningest coaches in all of college football and led the Sooners to 3 national championship wins, 12 Big 8 conference crowns, and never had a losing season during his tenure as head coach from 1973 to 1989. Switzer became one of only 3 coaches to ever win a national championship in college and in the NFL. A native of Arkansas, Switzer graduated from the University of Arkansas in 1960 and served in the U.S. Army before returning to the university as scout team coach and then offensive coach. He joined the coaching staff of the University of Oklahoma in 1966, was named the offensive coordinator in 1967, then assistant head coach in 1970, and finally head coach in 1973. Switzer concluded his time at OU at the end of the 1988 season with a 157, 29, and 4 record, a percentage that ranks him 4th among history's legendary football coaches. He then became head coach of the Dallas Cowboys for 4 seasons and won the Super Bowl in 1996. Switzer has the highest winning percentage of any Dallas Cowboys football coach. The University of Oklahoma Athletic Complex, the Barry Switzer Center, was named in his honor. He is a member of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame and organized the annual Swing for Sights golf tournament to raise money for Society for Prevention of Blindness. Switzer served as honorary head coach of Oklahoma Special Olympics for more than 40 years. Without further ado, please help me in welcoming Coach Barry Switzer.
Well, thank you. That was totally unexpected. I figured a couple of girls would stand up, I don't know all these guys. I always like to start off with asking the ladies in the audience, is 5.5 carats too much for a man to wear?
No.
Well, that's the last one Jerry got to wear right there. For this year. It's great to be here in Midland, Texas. It's been a long time since I've been out this way, especially in my profession. I've been a football coach all my life, and I think about what I could have been. And when I'm in Norman, Oklahoma, I live in Norman. I live on the campus of the university. I live actually, the Tridelt and Pi-Phi House live right across the street from me. There's a couple of fraternities, I don't know who the hell they are, I don't give a damn. I do care about the sorority girls. I do walk my dogs on campus, and they all love my dogs, and they want to pet my dogs, so they want to pet my dog. So it's we got a neat thing going in Norman. I really loved it. It's been a great, I've been there for, 56 years now. I came in 1966. There's got to be a reason a coaching staff changes. It's obviously what usually it is because they got their ass beat, right? Anybody in this room can raise their hand and tell me, don't kiss it, damn it, I want the correct number. Anybody raise their hand and tell me how many times Oklahoma lost to Texas before we arrived in 1966? How many times did Oklahoma beat Texas in the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? They hadn't beaten Texas in 8 years. That's the reason we came to Norman, Oklahoma. Now how long it took us to beat Texas? beat their ass that year in the Cotton Bowl. With the same players they had. Don't ever tell me coaching doesn't have anything to do with it. It's played from the neck up, I promise you. What's it like for the other? By 6'5" and 280, you know, run 4.5, but you know, it's a great game. I've been a part of it all my life. I didn't really expect to go into coaching. Bob Stoops, I hear him all the time talk about, by the way, in Norman, Oklahoma, I'm the old Bob Stoops. The reason why is I see these little kids walk up to their mom and daddies, and their mom is all of a sudden their daddy or Google Eye they're doing over me, but these kids are looking at their damn phones and popping their bubble gum. You know, they can't figure out what the hell's going on here. And I say, hey guys, I'm the old Bob Stoops. Oh, they get it then. They get it then. It's hard to believe I've been going 30 years of Oklahoma coaching. I left in '89. How long ago is that, man? Gosh, it's been a while, and we got a few Sooners in the room tonight. I already talked to a couple of them. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the guys that play for our ass. Big Texas. No, really, there are a bunch of Sooners here and a bunch of Texas Longhorns. A lot of people love football at Southwest Conference guys and all that. I was a Southwest Conference guy. I grew up in South Arkansas. And I was a big Oklahoma fan when I was in high school. That was when Oklahoma was winning 47 in a row, I think, with Bud. And the reason I was is because, you know, Oklahoma didn't have stadium lights. They didn't play night games. They only had to play afternoon games. They always got Oklahoma games on the radio. Tennessee didn't have gate lights, so they had to play afternoon games. So they always got Hank Larcella, Andy Kozar, and always got Burt Ricashar. All got all these guys on from Tennessee on the radio. So you became fans of all the programs, but especially the ones that played afternoon ball games, because the Razorbacks and the SEC and the LSU all played night ball games because they had a lot of stadium lights. So really it was really interesting at that time I was growing up. I really didn't think anything about playing college football. I was a country kid from South Arkansas that grew up on the Louisiana line, about 15 miles from, 20 miles from Bastrop, Louisiana, about 30 something from Monroe, Louisiana. North Louisiana is basically where I grew up. That's where I went on Friday nights anyway, because crossing about 3,000 people. Bastrop and Monroe had a little bit population, but anyway, I grew up there, was recruited, played high school football. I did not play till I was late in high school, late in junior high school, about 9th grade. And they taught me coming out. I didn't know what the hell it was all about. I lived in California. I'd come back from the war years. My daddy couldn't get a job at the paper mill, so he decided he was going to be a bootlegger. And I'd always heard Bob Stoops say that he knew he was going to be a high school football coach because his daddy coached at Cardinal High School in Youngstown, Ohio. And he coached Mike and Mark and him, and they knew they were going to coach football just like their dad did. Now, I knew damn well I wasn't going to do what my dad did. You see, my dad was a bootlegger, and he went to prison in Arkansas, State Penitentiary. It was Cummings Prison Farm. That's where they executed him on the levee over there near Mississippi River. This is back when no one had any justice, I promise you. On every Sunday, I would drive my mother to the prison farm, and there would be these trustees sitting out there. They'd have flatbed trailers, and these trustees sitting on horses with 30-30s across their laps, and these guys in striped uniforms would be pulling the sacks, the 100-pound bale sacks, and there's clusters and clusters and clusters of these flatbed trailers out there loading cotton. And I sit there in line and watch it. And my brother was too young. He was only about, 6 years old. We left him at home, so mother and I went up. And anyway, it was kind of an interesting experience because it's something I knew damn well I wasn't going to do. And I asked Dad. I said, you raise the protein for them to pick all that cotton out there? It takes a lot of protein to pick all that damn cotton they got out front of this damn prison out here. And Daddy said, no. I said, I raise rabbits. That's what we feed them. Now think about that. You think they raise chickens? It takes a lot of room to raise chickens. But they stack rabbits in cages. So Cumming Prison Farm in 1950s raised all rabbits and cages for convicts to go out and pick cotton. And we get to see the guy on TV every Fox every Sunday night talking about his damn cotton sheets or whatever he got. But anyway, I look back on that and think that it was really kind of neat that I had an opportunity to play football. It was good enough to be recognized in high school as a good player. I was recruited at LSU. Actually, TCU recruited me. Remember Abe Martin? Coach, old coach at TCU. Coach, hell no, you don't remember. You don't that old. Abe Martin was a coach here at TCU in the 50s. And actually, they had an assistant coach come to see me. And so it was kind of interesting. But I didn't go to LSU or any of those other schools because I had friends that went to the University of Arkansas and a girlfriend that went to the University of Arkansas. So therefore, I'm going to go to the University of Arkansas. Whether I can play or not, I'm going there. So I ended up being at the University of Arkansas in 1955. There were 12,000 population. I don't think there were 6,000 or 7,000 students at that time in Arkansas. So it was a long time ago. And you graduated high school, you got to college. You didn't have to take any damn test. You know, if you're college, if you're a high school graduate at the University of Arkansas, you got in school at the University of Arkansas or any of the colleges. That's the way it was. But those things have changed, and we all know what it's like today. It's hard, right? Highly competitive to get in college and compete and get in school today and to remain there. Ronaldo works right here. I'm looking at Ronaldo. He's a special guy to me. He's played for me, not for me, hell, he played at Oklahoma for us. He played at Oklahoma. Were you out of Tulsa Union or Booker T? You're a Booker T guy. I recruited a lot of great kids out of Booker T. But had a great academic school. Booker T was a great academic school. And a lot of kids went to school there just for the academics. But they had great athletics too. But Ronaldo played in the league for years, and he was an excellent student. And he's in the your business, and he's got Bird here with him. Played. Bird was a tight end at OU, and Ronaldo and Scott Newland. Scott still here? Where the hell are you, Scott? Back here, feeding your face. Big you need to lose some weight. I still eat your ass up. Hey, I recruit you. I got you for life. I got your mind, and I'm gonna tell you what to do. You know, my wife gets on my ass. She was a gymnastics coach for 22 years. She was. And they just won another national championship. You see that? I'm telling you what, we're kicking ass. Gymnastics, tennis, and all of it. Really, they do a great job. Basketball he picked up this year. Couldn't believe it. And hey, how about softball? Oh, they're special. But anyway, I live right on the campus. I hear the softball team when it plays, and I spend a lot of time there and really enjoy being there. But Ronaldo. I remember Ronaldo, every time I see him, there was only about 30 seconds left in the game, I think, Ronaldo, wasn't something like that, 40-second play, something like that. And we're playing Alabama in Norman, and it's 2003. And we throw a screen pass, and Ronaldo catches behind the line of scrimmage, a slip pass, what is a slip screen. And he catches the ball, and he runs here, and he runs there, and he's running here, and he's running there. And I'm looking, I said, how much he keeps on running, he's going to score. And that's what happened. He scored and beat Alabama with 40 seconds left in the ball game. And, so, really, it's kind of neat to remember things like that, because I had a few players who were able to make plays like that, too. Players make plays. Coaches don't. You go recruit them, and that's what makes it happen. There's no magic to it. It's just good players making big plays when you need to play the big play made. That's what super magic is. It's what magic is everywhere in football. But I think about recruiting out here. I'll go back to that. I recruited. Y'all remember a guy named Jack Miller in Abilene Cooper High School? Jack Miller was an outstanding high school quarterback from Abilene Cooper. Everybody didn't think Oklahoma would have a chance to get him. I knew we would, because I coached with his coach, Merrill Green, who happened to play at Oklahoma, and coached with me at Arkansas with Frank Ross. and we were on staff together. And he was the head coach of Evelyn Cooper. So we had that connection. I had a lot of OU alumni, Jakey Sandifer, a lot of guys right here, and Sam, a bunch of guys that were all big-time Sioux fans that lived in the Abilene area. And so I had a lot of things working for me on that. Well, we ended up getting Jack Miller, and he came to Oklahoma, and we put him in an offense called the Wishbone. Texas is the only one that wanted the damn thing. Everybody said, "When are you going to do that?" I said, I want to win. I said, "That's what I want to do. I want to do what they're doing." I said, they got to track me every damn week. I said, you know, they put 400, 500, 600 yards on people. They don't throw for that much. I know they don't throw. They didn't pass it all. They just rush for that much. In 1971, we go to that offense. I mean, actually a full season in that offense after switching in the middle of the season in 1970. And we go to that offense, and from that point on, we were the winningest team in college football for that period of time. We won more games than Alabama did in the 70s. People went, "Oh, really?" Yeah, really. We did. We dominated. And we had great teams. And the thing I look back on it era, the thing that disappoints me more than anything is that when I hear people talking about reparations, I think old football coaches ought to get reparations. You know, I read about these bastards making $8, $9, $10 million a year. And I coached at Oklahoma. My first 3 years at Oklahoma as the head coach, I made $24,000 a year for 3 years, $36,000. I went 32-1-1, 2 undefeated seasons, 2 national championships back to back. I made $2,000 a month. It eats my ass up when I think about it. Think about it. But anyway, I had a great run. It was worth it, you know, and all that. Set all these damn records. I didn't get paid for it, but I did. Set all these records. I think about, I mentioned recruiting. I mean, Jack Nolan was the first great one I recruited out here. I'll tell you the ones that get away and then you think about them. I love great recruiting stories because they happen, they're real. And the things that just impromptu, just come out with blue on you, knock you down. You got to be ready for everything because you don't ever ask a question unless you got an answer for some bitch because you probably will get something back at you. So I'm out in Andrews, Texas. You know, it's kind of out here, you know, where you got a few roughnecks living in double wides, and I was recruiting a defensive tackle, and I was sitting in there with mom and dad on the couch, and had a grandmother. She ain't said one damn word. She'd been sitting in her rocking chair, rocking back and forth ever since dinner. Didn't smile. She didn't like my ass. I know that. She had another favorite already been to see her that week or something, the last couple of weeks. So I was a little leery yet, but I'm going to have to recognize her if I can't walk out of this house without saying something to grandmama. You know, I've got to recognize her. But I was kind of prepared for what she might put on me. And so what happens is that we have a great visit. Mom and dad, the player, and they're sitting on the couch, and we got it going. And she's just sitting over and just rocking, a frown on her face. So I said, Mama, I said, Grandmama, I said, you know, I'm not going to be able to come back probably, and I won't know if I'll be back here. So I know you got a question you want to ask me. Something's on your mind. You want to ask me something about our program, what I've talked about tonight. And I think that there's something there. I can't not leave here without asking you if you got a question you'd like to ask her and an answer given for that question. And she says, yeah. Heard y'all got a drug problem. I looked at her and said, got a drug problem? What do I have a drug problem? You get all you want, anytime you want, just like you can in Austin, in Dallas, in Fort Worth, in Waco. You want it, you can get it. You ain't got no damn drug problem. You got to be ready. It went right over her head, but mama and daddy and that kid have died laughing like that. But things like that happen. I go recruit a kid in Killeen, Texas one night. His dad was an old offensive line coach. And I went into that high school at Killeen, and I already had some good players from Killeen starting for me. And the high school coach told me, he said, you know, you're going to go in this kid's home, this big 6'4", Frank, what the hell is his name, Frank, but he's about 6'4", 240, and you're going to have to go in his home. His daddy's an offensive line coach for me for years. He's retired now, he weighs about 380, and he says what he's going to do, he's going to offer you a beer, and if you got another home visit. I know a lot of coaches don't like to drink after, you know, and have another home visit, so what happens is that's okay, I appreciate that. So I go in, we get ready to go on home. I got an assistant coach driving the car, and I said, you drive around the block. And as soon as we got the house, I counted them off. I said, you drive around the block. And I said, I had to turn in when we got back around, instead of going around the front again, go down the alley. I want to go down the alley. I counted off the houses. I got out and walked over to the trash, walked around in it, and okay, I got what I want. And I went back and got in the car and went back, go back around the alley, going back and pull in front of the house. So it's time to go in and meet Mom and Daddy and the old rough offensive line coach. So we got out of the car and we walk inside and we do go through all the preliminaries and all that. And so the coach looks over at me and says, Coach, you want to drink a beer with me? And I looked at him, I said, only if it's a Pearl. Pearl is the worst taste. But he looked at me and said, you drink Pearl? I said, my whole coaching staff drinks Pearl. I said, every time we don't sell Pearl in Oklahoma, every time we go back north of the Red, I got to take out the back springs of the car, I got a little bit, I can get 22 cases of Pearl. And all of a sudden, this grin comes across his face. He said, you're shitting me. I said, how about I have a Pearl with you? So he gets up, he goes in there, opens 2 Pearls and brings them back out, sets them down, so we drank a couple Pearls. I got the player, he came to Oklahoma, was a hell of a player for me. And, well, I can't remember his last name. But he's a great kid, and he'll call me tonight, he'll hear about this crap. He always does. But anyway, there's so many more of those damn things like that come up in your life, recruiting stories. I wish I could have written them all down and remembered all of them. But a lot of great ones out there. But I get asked a lot about pro football and college football. And I always, people say, well, how do you motivate college, pro football players? They make so much money and da-da-da-da. I said, it's not hard. He said, first of all, think about it, there are only 53 of them. They're making more money than they're making the rest of their life. Half of them are, more than half of them. I said, if they don't bust their ass on the waiver wire this afternoon, and they'll be pumping gas in Georgia the next day for $8 an hour if they don't bust their ass. And they know that too. And so they'll be at 7:30 in the morning, they'll be in their chair, they do everything you ask them, go through the walk, through the practice. And when it comes time for them to perform, they know they have to perform or they're going to be on waiver wire. They're going to be cut. And every Wednesday, Ronaldo, you remember this, Bird, you remember this in the league, that every Wednesday morning at 8:30, every 32 teams in NFL, they meet in their offensive meeting room. And they go over the special teams. And they turn out the lights. And they put laser right, laser left, laser 2, laser 3 light, infrared lights on you guys covering all 11 players in a dark room. And you know what? On Sunday, when that team, special team, went out there to cover the kickoff, he knows maybe his mom and dad will watch him cover, maybe his wife, maybe he's got a girlfriend, she'll watch the ball go through there like everybody else does, run that back out of the end zone. But they go in there and they'll sit down in that film room and they know what's coming because they lived Sunday and they lived Monday night lining up to cover the kickoff and to bring it back. And they know no one watched them, but 853 players will watch them on Wednesday morning. It's called peer pressure. It's the strongest pressure you ever put on an individual, especially athletes. And if you don't go lay your ass on the line, you duck and dodge, and you don't throw your body around like everybody knows what you got to do, because these guys have played this game a long time. Hey, your ass is on the waiver wire. Simple as that. How is it like this? Because I've seen this happen. I've seen Michael Irvin stand in the dark room. We had the light on the kid covering right, 3 right, I'll never forget. And Michael stood up and said, cut his ass, coach, he'll get his feet. We already knew we were going to cut him. But that's what happens. That's what you live with. So, these guys are highly motivated because of peer pressure and the money they're making, and they know that this is the only chance they got for some of them. Anyway, and the other difference is this. In pro football, I don't know where you came from. I don't know if there's any siblings in your home. I don't know if there's a dad there. I don't know if there was, it's irrelevant to me. It's irrelevant. Pro football, it's all about winning and going to the Super Bowl. That's all it's about. I don't care what grades you made, you know what I mean? I'm not here to motivate your ass to do that and go back to school and all that. I'm here to win football games and hopefully keep my job and go on down the road. That's it. It's highly competitive for all of us. But, you know, the difference then is go to college. In college, I recruit a kid at 17 and 18 years old. I know if there's a dad in the home. I know if the mother's working 2 jobs. I know the siblings. I know their names. I know where they're from. And I'm going to have them for the next 4 or 5 years. And they, as I told Scott back there, your ass needs to lose some weight, and I recruited you, I got you for life, and you're mine. And that's the way it is when I recruit a college kid. You're mine. I'm going to treat you just like you're one of my family. And I'm going to give you a damn thing to come here. Your ass ain't going to get a damn nickel or dime to come here to play for me. But you come here and play and bust your ass. Hey, you need help, I'll help you. And I hope Darryl helped him. I hope Joe Turno helped him. I hope all the coaches out there did the same thing. I don't give a damn. But once I have a player in my squad and my family, I'm going to help him. It's the only thing to do. But he didn't get a damn thing to come there. Not one nickel, not one dime. It's an insult to even think about it. You don't even to say that. Now, they talk about the Wild Wild West. This NIL, you know what the NIL is? Y'all have any idea what's fixing to happen? Yeah. I'm telling you, it's scary. We're having to come out with a program. Mike Henry, my partner here, and I've been, Mike and y'all are too damn young. Mike and I have been in business since 1978. We started a business together in 1978 that was called Sooners Illustrated. It was a magazine for the internet, for anybody published their own magazines and all. We started Sooners Illustrated. And that was in 1978. It still exists today. And we started that magazine together. We sold it after we had Longhorns Illustrated, Huskers Illustrated, Trojans Illustrated. So we did them all. We were innovative. We did things that other people weren't doing. We were getting out hustling, busting our ass. Guy asked me a minute ago, do I still work? There I work. Hey, Mike and I were sitting in, after I got the Cowboy job, one day Jerry called me, Bird, he called me and says, you want to coach the Cowboys? I said, hell, I didn't know the job was open. I said, well, it's going to be open. I said, well, call me after the job's open. I'll talk to you then. And he said, the next day, he fired Jimmy. He called me and said, come on to Dallas. That was my interview for the Dallas Cowboy job. Why is that? People wonder why. You think how you hire a coach for the Dallas Cowboys, you pick up a telephone director, you throw darts, you hit a name and say, hey, I'll call that guy, you offer him the job. I had a relationship with Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson since they were 17 years old. I coached them at the University of Arkansas. I was their coach. You all okay over? Yeah, Jimmy and Jerry were on the staff. I was on the staff there when we coached them. Jimmy was out of Beaumont, Port Arthur, Texas, and Jerry's out of Rose City, and both 17-year-old freshmen. And I spent a lot of time with them off the field and the locker room and their room, dorm room, sitting and talking to them. I was a single coach living in the dorm coach, tough job to be. When one year you're one of them, the next year you're not one of them. And they always remind me of that. Switzer, I remember what you were like. That's different. They pay me now. You don't go my way. But it's neat to know that Jerry and Jimmy and I had that type of relationship. Jimmy coached for me 4 years at Oklahoma. People don't know that. He was on my staff, my defensive coordinator at the University of Oklahoma. It's relationships. It's why you have jobs. It's why you get connections. It's what makes things happen in this world, especially in your world. It's relationships. And I know that you better have a good relationship with people you work with. You better be fair and treat them right and do the right things. And it'll all come back to you. And I've always told kids, young kids, people ask me all the time, why can't you tell someone just a few words and minutes that can help them in life? I think that a lot of things come to mind. I've said a lot of different things, but the one that really comes to mind is we all define ourselves. Every one of us in this room define ourselves by how we present ourselves and how we react in the presence of others. It could be just for a few seconds, less than a minute. It'll be something that you won't think that's that important, but it's one of the most important things you can do, because you know what? In that few seconds that you have to demonstrate in front of others what you can be, you can either be arrogant, aloof, insolent, you do all those stupid-ass, dumb-ass things that we've all done, or you can just be kind, be nice, be a nice guy. And the amazing thing about it is that what happens is that it'll come back to you tenfold. If what you do and how you present yourself might not be tomorrow, but it'll come back to you. And someone will remind you of that. It's happened to me too many times because I've lived too long. That's what happens when you live long enough. People come back and remind you, I remember what you did. And you never knew anyone was watching. You wouldn't care about. But I promise you, that's the difference, is we all define ourselves by how we treat people in the presence of others. And I think that we all have to be well aware of that, and I tell the kids that all the time. So it's very, very important. It's always to be kind. It doesn't cost you a damn thing, and rewards will be great for you. But it'll come back to you. Anyway, I don't think you know what the hell I'm talking about. I get to rattling on too damn much. A couple of other things, let's see, Mike, what the hell are you going?
God has. What about?
Oh, I'm just recruiting stories, Oh, yeah. Bum Phillips. I got Bum Phillips stories. I love to tell coaches stories. But you know who Don Haskins is? Don Haskins, Dean of Men, he's known for being Dean of Men, Texas Western, right? But he won a basketball game the year before in Kentucky, an all-white Kentucky team, and he won a national championship. And Don ended up being Dean of Men at El Paso. Bum was was a head coach in football. And so what happens is that I'd always heard this story, and I always wanted to know if it's true. And I asked Don Haskins when I had a chance, is it true? And Don was on a plane flying out of El Paso, and I'm out there recruiting. I'm trying to get back to Dallas and either Frontier Airline, Ozark, I don't know what the hell, all that, a bunch of them back in. Landed every damn Meacham Field, Fort Worth, what it's like to fly across Texas. But what happens is that, where the hell was it? Don Haskins. So Don Haskins, that's what happens, I need a straight man there. So what happens is that Don sees me back there. He's back in the plane sitting down. He's holding up his hands. I'll say you a seat. I said, okay, come back and we'll sit down and start talking. I said, hey, Don, I've always wanted to ask you this story about Bum. And he says, is it true about Bum, you having to call Bum late one night about 2 o'clock in the morning that your football team, let me hear your side of the story. Here's how I heard it, is that the football team, 5 of the players on the football team, you got the miners trained down there in Texas Western. You all been out there, they call them the miners and all? Texas, I don't know whether they still do or not, Texas. Do they still have that on campus? Anyway, so they caught 5 of the players tinkling off the train, locomotive. I cleaned it up. And Don said, go ahead. And he said, well, the campus police, you had to call Bum and tell Bum that the president called you and you got to kick these 5 players off off the team. And Don says, well, that's kind of how it went. I said, what'd you do? And he says, well, I told Coach Bum, I said, you know, Bum, there's nothing I can do about it. He's already called the president, and the president said we're going to have to kick them all off. And there's a silence on the phone. Bum sat there and thought a minute. He said, well, you call the president back. Tells Don, this is the thing you meant to do. It says, Don, you call the president back and you tell the president that. He says, first of all, who was it that was on the tinkling off the train? And he says, well, it was so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, so-and-so and so-and-so. And he said, okay. We waited a few minutes. He said, well, you call the president back and you tell the president, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so can't piss off the train, but oh, so-and-so and so-and-so can. That's what discipline is in football. I always told those guys, young kids that come in on campus, I said, let me tell you something, son, if you're a turd, you better hang around with a superstar. That's all one would probably save your ass right there. But you got to get them ready, you got to motivate them, you know, what you think of them. But, yeah, but it's, we had a great time together, a great relationship with my players. They all knew I cared about them, I loved them, and helped them. And when they needed it. So, anybody got a question they'd like to ask me? Because I know that will bring up a lot of thoughts. If someone asked me a question. Yes, sir.
One of AAPL, our parent organization, one of the prior presidents was Don Key.
Yeah, Don, yeah. I recruited him out Pasadena, Texas. Great kid.
Great.
Lost his kidney, saved his life because he lost his kidney in the Texas game.
He's one of the prior presidents of AAPL.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great kid out Pasadena. Yeah.
He's not a kid anymore.
Oh, I know that. He started for me as a freshman. He was an all-star. He was a superstar. Yeah, I was. Hey, this is a true story too, but I'm telling you, it's just so damn funny. And Don Key will tell you too. Don Key's mother, you know what Gillies is in Pasadena, right? You got the bar down there in Gillies. Well, anyway, Don Key's mother was gorgeous, and she was single. And I was single. That helps sometimes in recruiting. Can't hurt too. It can't hurt. But what happens is that Don told me, he says, Mama don't want me to coach. I want to come to Oklahoma, but Don, my mama doesn't want me to come. And I said, I know it. And so I'd never met her before. And so I go in the home. We have a great visit and all. And she asked Don, do you want to go out with us, Don? No, Don said, y'all going, da, da, da. So she said, you ever been to Gillies? No, I've never been to Gillies. Why? So we went to Gillies. We had a great time. And that morning, when I came back, no, that's wrong. Tell Don that's wrong, right? No. The next morning, I talked to Don. And Don said, boy, you must have done something right last night. He says, Coach, mother told me this morning, she says, you know, Norman, Oklahoma ain't that far. But true story, you asked about it. Don came to Oklahoma. Yes, sir.
Great speech. I'm from Beaumont, Texas.
Yes, sir. I got a story about Beaumont.
I grew up with Buddy.
Well, let me tell the story. Let me tell the story. All right. Bud Hebert is a kid from Beaumont, South Park, middle class, you know, screened indoor, you know, down there. It's an integrated school. He really great athlete. And I go to see him by myself. I like to go see players by myself. and without the assistant coach with me, where I was a one-on-one family and the player. And I go to see Bud, got his address, and go down and knock on the door, ring the doorbell, whatever. It's a screen door, and the door opens, and there's a screen door there. And I'm looking across the other side, and I said, "Is Bud here?" He said, "I'm Bud, Coach." I get that a lot. Well, Bud, that year as a junior, had broad jumped 26 feet, actually 25, 11 and a half, to win the state championship in high school. A white dude. And he ran the 100. He ran the 109.6. He still run 100-yard dash. Ran 900. He holds the Orange Bowl record today for most interceptions. In an Orange Bowl, had 3 in the game we played in Miami. And he ended up playing about 3 or 4 years in the league, defensive back, but he was a great, great athlete. He wanted to play baseball at OU for Eunice Seymour, and I let him do it until Bobby Proctor says, "We need him at safety right now because we lost our safety." He says, he's going to start for us next year. He needs his ass out of here. And I went to Bud and said, "Bud, you got to come." Bud was really upset. You know why he was upset? He had hit 4 consecutive home runs. 4, and not in the same game. He hit 2 in this game. The next day, he let off 2 home runs. Hit 4 consecutive home runs. He officially had a hell of a year in baseball. And, but he had to come back out and play football. He's on a damn football school. You don't know baseball school. So you're on football school. So I got that settled. But Bud he's the hold on the, he likes to be called the hold, you know, the Booba Von Shaman, you know, this field goal kicker that beat Ohio State in 1977, September the 24th, Joe Washington's birthday. I remember them all. They are. Little Joe from Port Arthur, Texas. He was a freshman in 1972 when freshmen became eligible, and only lost 2 games in 4 years, won 2 national championships. Boy, had some good players in Texas. Someone asked me, Ronaldo says, well, when Jerry hired me and I was down there and he's leading me around like a dog on a leash, you know, he was over in Highland Park, you know, these cocktails deals. I'm walking around and what's so funny is this lady walks up to me and she said, "Well, Coach, how do you like Texas so far?" I said, "Man, I love Texas." "Well, you've only been here 2 weeks." I said, "Ma'am, have you ever been to Snett and Dumas? Have you ever been at El Paso and Texarkana and Brownsville?" I said, "I've been to every place in between them. I've been to every beer joint, I've been to every barbecue place, I've been to every high school, I know every high school coach, I know every counselor, I know every principal in this state." I says, "I've been traveling the state for 50 years. I love Texas. I've recruited some of the greatest high school football players ever played in the state, played at the University of Oklahoma. I love Texas." And she thought it was nuts. She stood there like that, talk. I know more about Texas than you'll ever know. I've been to Rio Pal Mau. You ain't been there. Anyone else did I cover Bud for you?
Yeah, covered Bud. Now talk about Danny Davis and Jimmy King.
Who?
Danny Davis and Jimmy King.
Well, Danny Davis has worked for me. Yeah, he's on my staff. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. What the hell, you've got an insider here somewhere. I'll think, Mike, anything else you think of? Anyway, we were sitting I was coaching Cowboys. NIL? NIL is going to be what, I've always been for just the football coaching staff and the school to be in the home and not a third party. And that's what we've got now, a third party. We've got an agent. They'll have agents in their home. They'll be telling what we have no idea what they'll tell them. When you sign with this team, you'll get more for I can get more for your signature, likeness, and image. And I can if you go with this school. We don't know what the hell they're telling them. You know, and so it's going to be really interesting to see how it happens. I think Oklahoma will be as competitive as anybody in the business when we come with our program. We should announce it this week. But it'll be interesting to see how it comes down. Basically, it's where everybody, football, basketball, softball will come out with them first, right? It's 3. Football will have basketball recruits, 15 of them. They'll receive a stipend for all year long, about $3,000, I think, a month. And football will be about $4,000 a month, right? Some of that range.
Softball, 2,500.
2,500 softball, women's softball. So it helps tremendously. I mean, really. And that's without them even going and getting an agent. This is just on the top. This is just what the school will be able to do for them. And not the agent. The agent, if you got a good agent and you knock it out of the park as a player, as a freshman. One of the guys, we were discussing this, and he said, well, we're going to bring in 15 true freshmen, freshman squad, and you got 53 on the squad, no, at 85 on the squad, a football squad, and they said, you know, with 85 on there, you're going to have to give more to the quarterback than you do the 13 center. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? Hell, they're freshmen. They ain't played the damn down yet. They ain't broken a huddle. They ain't covered the kickoff. How in the hell do you know you're going to be a superstar? I've seen too many of them that don't. You know, they got to prove themselves first. I said, then they'll take care of it. They will have to pay tuition for our walk-ons to state of Oklahoma, which will help a lot of families out. But it's going to be interesting how it comes down. It really is. Next week, so we'll find out about everybody's program. You'll be reading about them, and you hear a lot of things out there that aren't true. But we'll be releasing the paper out. If you want to help Oklahoma, jump on board. Texas, jump on board. Aggies. Yes, sir.
How about the Selma brothers?
How about them? How about them? God bless Miss Selma. I understand that's why Daryl retired here. Miss Selma was pregnant with triplets. That's just an Oklahoma joke. But yeah, Miss Selman, Leroy Selman. If Selman played at Oklahoma, we were 54-3-1 in 2 national championships. We're pretty good when we had them. They all kind of overlap each other.
Coach, what about Stephen Riley?
Who? John was saying he didn't want to play in the SEC. He got the hell out of Dodge, didn't he? Yeah, I don't blame him. You know, I look at it this way. If someone asked me about that, I said, look, Oklahoma University left for the money, didn't they? They went for $22 million in the SEC raise. What the hell wrong with football coaches doing the same thing? I don't like the way it happened and all that, but I don't think a coach can tell the team before he plays that he's not going to be there next year. That makes sense. So it was a difficult thing for him. But I think he wasn't a part of the decision. He wasn't asked. I think they went ahead and made it without him. And he said, piss on him, I'm going to go to California. I think that had a lot to do with it. My own personal opinion, that's what, and I'm going to tell you something. The reason I believe that, Bob Stoops told me he had no idea, and I truly believe Bob when he told me that. He had no idea. So, anyway, I bored the hell out of y'all, and I mean, I don't know what else I can do. I be more organized next time, I guess. I got things what I'll talk about, but anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one, Texas.